Hello and welcome to the Build with Baer Workshop. My name is Pat Baer and I'm here to build a model kit and hang out with all of you. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to throw the Bear Cave Lego the Scythe emote in the chat. If you're currently a subscriber, you can reply with those emotes. If you're not a subscriber, you can say hi. You could use somebody else's emotes. Also, again, I want to say you don't have to say anything. Lashbrook is here. Hi, Lashbrook. It's nice in the intro portion of our stream to see who's here and say hi to people and check in. But if you are not somebody that likes to be in chat and you like to just watch, you're going to put it on your TV, you got it on your phone while you're doing other stuff, you can do that. Hey, Dirty saying evening to the Bear Cave. Yes, good evening. You can totally do that. If you just want to be a chill and not participate, welcome, Mr. Hadel. Happy to have you here. Or Hadel. Welcome. I appreciate you being here. Welcome to everybody. Yeah, again, this is the intro portion of the stream. We're just going to hang out for a little bit, couple minutes, let people come in. You know, some folks, they have their pre-stream thing going for a long time. They really, try to build that number, try to get it out there. And I like doing it for, like 6 minutes. And that feels a long time to me. But I have generally found that for the first, 3 or to 4 minutes of me being live, there isn't anybody. So let people come in. Come when they want to come. And then we'll build a model kit and talk. Also, as I said this on Saturday, and I'll be a broken record about this, I only have so much life happening to me to talk to y'all about. So I'll certainly be talking about anime in the second hour. Oh, I'll be talking about anime. Don't you forget it. Or don't you think I won't. Lord Crashton's here. Hey, Lord Crashton. But, I got, a big topic that I kind of want to talk about, and maybe other things will come up, and we'll discuss those things. But I have, a thing I know I want to chat with you about that I think we'll have some conversation about it, and it'll be fun. But, beyond that, I don't know. A lot of times things just come up, and conversation happens because of what we're talking about, that kind of thing. I'm excited to build. Pardon me. I apologize for that. Excited to work on this. The Astray, Load Astray double rebake, which is basically an Astray or Stray, but if it was from Iron Blooded Orphans. Also, this is the front of the kit, but also you can have the back of the kit. You can pull this part down, and then the back of the kit can also be a Gundam. So it's like a front-facing Gundam and a back-facing Gundam, and that's weird, and I like that. That's a weird thing. There are big stickers on this kit that I am not a big fan of. So I had trouble with this sticker on the other side of the kit, the other arm, on Saturday. So I just did this off-stream as my warm-up, just because it took me a while, and I got it pretty much how I wanted it. So I was like, I'm just going to do it, whatever. But we're going to work on the arms of this kit, finish both arms. Then we will jump over and start on the feet. And then, yeah. Or no, we're going to, with legs. We're just going to start with the legs, because the legs and the feet, because these are identical. Up until we get to the, the connectors at the waist. Have I done my intro long enough to let people come in that are going to come in this early? Probably. Do we think more people are going to come? I would say, yeah. I'd say more people are probably going to come watch the stream. I'm going to make a guess that that's going to happen. Maybe it won't. Maybe it'll be just us tonight. And then, one of you isn't going to stay for 2 hours. Sure. Okay. That happens. I'm going to retweet my tweet that Monday is for model kit building, because it is. It's Monday. We're model kit building. Let's see. Somebody liked my tweet from earlier today, which is great. Getting some retweet likes. If you build it, they will come. I mean, I hope so. I would love it for them to come. But here's the overhead. This is what we're working with. We got our chest piece, or head and the chest here, like this. We've got one arm almost done. We're finishing this arm because we got to do the shoulder part that goes here. And then we'll move over and start, because we got some of the parts of the other arm done, because you can do them at the same time. And then we'll keep building them. And just build it up and, have a good time. Let me know if you've had this. do you have people who read you on Twitter, or let's say Twitter? Twitter's easier because the retweet. But let's say that you have people that follow you on Twitter. They like your good retweets, and that's it. I forgot that a friend of mine, like, who doesn't post much. She doesn't post that much, but she posts now and again. I almost forgot she was on Twitter because I have not, seen her tweet much. But she liked a very funny retweet that I did pretty recently, and I was like, "You don't like my tweets, but you like my retweets? All right, fine." And it's not a big deal. It's not. It isn't a big deal at all. It doesn't matter. But it's like, like some of my tweets. Some of them are pretty okay. Some of them aren't okay at all. But some of them are all right. Well, why don't you like what I do? Don't just like the funny tweets that I find out there and decide to share with people that read what I write. Also, like the fun jokes and goofs that I make on my own. Maybe my commentary is good too. You know what I mean? I don't know. It doesn't really mean much. Shouldn't care about it. Shouldn't care about it, but sometimes I do. We're doing some panel lining before we put this together because it is sometimes easier to do panel lining. Sometimes I'll wait for the whole thing to put together. Sometimes I'll just do it as I go. If it's gonna be like hard to get at and hard to clean up, I might just do it ahead of time. I don't know. Kind of go with my mood on it sometimes. But yeah, that's what I was thinking because I was just like, it just popped in my head because I was like, oh, this person, I like them, but what's going on? Honestly, really, if you were like, Pat, how you feeling today? I would say, I'm feeling air conditioning. That's honestly what I'm feeling right now because it is hot outside. I had to be outside to do yard work because I got yard work to do around this house. So I've been doing some of that. And I was out there, and then I was in the garage on the bike, trying to stay healthy, stay active a little bit, moving around on that bike, playing a iPhone game, a mobile game to just have something to do, trying to bike, and it was just like, it's hot. It was very hot in my garage. It was very hot outside. And I came in, and it was like that rush when the house is just like so much cooler, and you're just like, you just get that wave of cold air. And I lived for almost 20 years in New York, like literally almost 20 years, like 19 years in New York, without air conditioning in any apartment that I lived in. And that now is unbelievable. At the time, it was just like, yeah, New York City, look, are the summers brutal in New York? They can be, but not all the time. But really, if you got a good breeze, you only really need it for like 2-3 months out of the year. And then, you got roommates, and so everybody's got to get, like, air conditioning is just not a feature in New York apartments by default. So everyone needs to get a air conditioner in their room because you're splitting the electricity among the roommates, and if one person has it, then everyone shouldn't have to pay. So everyone needs to get it. And then the last apartment I lived in, I lived majority of my time in New York, the room, just the way it was built and designed, it was like air conditioning wasn't going to work too great in there. So I just didn't have it for years and years and years. And I don't think I can go back. Like, I had an overhead fan in my last apartment. I had a big box fan that I would put on the radiator, point at me. The windows would be open. And then I had a small fan that lived on the table by my computer that just constantly blasted coldish air into my face. And that is how I made do. And that now doesn't feel like any way to live. At the time, you just dealt with it. And it was like, did I, on some nights when it was super hot, did I take a very cold shower and immediately try to go to sleep? Yes, I would do that. If it was hot, would I sleep at the bottom, at the foot of the bed, because that was by the window, and that big box fan that I had in the window would blast air right at me? Yeah, I did that too, sometimes. And I just suffered. And it wasn't great. Did I, on occasion, late at night, go to the movies, mainly for the air conditioning, so that I would be very cool after a day of being home if I wasn't going to go to work where it was very cold, where the air conditioning was good at work. Yeah, I did that on occasion. I'm not proud of it. I went to the movies mostly for the air conditioning. Uh, but I don't have that to worry about that anymore because I am in a place that has air conditioning throughout the entire house. It's a one-story unit, and it is cold here. What temperature do you tend to keep the thermostat at your current situation? So, Hadel, I am currently living with my folks because I wasn't doing particularly well financially in 2019. I was laid off in 2019 and did not get gainful full-time employment again. So I was eating into my savings and working a bunch of odd jobs. And then 2020 happened, and all those jobs ended except for one, and streaming. So I moved in with my folks, and so I don't bother them about the temperature. It is, I believe, 75 degrees here, which is, some people keep it colder, but I've talked about this before. There's one room in the house that is colder than the rest of the house, and that is where my dad primarily hangs out, in the Carolina room, they call it. It's a bonus room. So he's there, and so we can only keep it so cold because otherwise he will freeze in that room, which, I understand. So, yeah, it's 75 here. I think that's fine. Look, my room is the hottest room because I have a big computer here that I run all day. So I'm putting out more heat than, most rooms in the house. And it's still so nice right now. I'll sweat a little bit here working just because I got this extra light going right here. And just, but honestly, it's it's so beautiful right now. I'm so comfortable in this house. Yeah, there always tends to be one room in the house that gets the coldest. Yeah, and it'll get the hottest because it's a addition, basically. It's not an addition. They build it at the same time they build the house, but it's not like, it's got tile floor and it's like 3 sides are windows. So it gets really hot because all the light comes in through the windows and kind of bakes it during the summer. But in the wintertime, I was there in February. Folks remember that I was in that room in February. And I just had to bundle up because I was just like, this is just too cold. Lashbrook says, I've said it, but I didn't realize people didn't have central air in every building for many, many years. Yeah. See, if you grew up with central air, or some people don't even know what central air means. They're just like, yeah, you have air conditioning in your whole house, right? And you're like, no, some people don't have that. Some people have the room with the air conditioner. Some people don't have an air conditioner at all because it's only hot for a little bit of time, so it's not worth having the central system. And they have like radiator heat because people are like, well, your heating and air conditioning is all the same unit. It's like, no, that's not how everyone has it. But I did grow up, my house eventually did have central air, but then in New York, that is just not a thing that you find in most apartments there. My last apartment had a split AC system where I had an upstairs and downstairs system. It was a real pain when the upstairs unit would die every summer, and you have to retreat to the bottom floor to nap at the couch while waiting the few days for the repair guy to come. Totally. Yeah, that feels like a nightmare where you are like at the mercy of this one piece of equipment that you're just hoping will work because you're like, no, if air conditioning doesn't happen, then this is just not a place you can live. All right, so I need A15. All right, got a little piece here. We're working on our shoulder, and then we'll move on. I'm with Lashbrook, grew up with central air, and it was weird the first time I went somewhere with just radiators or wall units. Yeah, like those wall unit air conditioners or which are there the whole time, right? Those are, hey, welcome. I'm Maynard. Happy to have you. A lot of people call those like Japanese style because that's where we first saw those air conditioning units. Those kind of like the little rectangular ones that get mounted on the wall. I always knew places that just had an AC unit that would go in the window, and you have to like build a little platform for it to stick out, and you're always very scared about putting in the air conditioning unit. Also because AC units like that, some of them are really sharp at the back of it because they don't want that. The idea is that birds won't land on it if it's sharp. and you could just cut yourself up as you're trying to put in your air conditioner, and that's why people wouldn't take their air conditioner out, and they'd be like, oh, well, I'm just gonna leave it. It is terrible. I've lived in Arizona for a few years, and AC was necessary for 99% of the year, which is why it sucked when my apartment complex turned it off in favor of heat for a week and then didn't turn it back on after a few months when it started getting back in the 80s. Lord crashed it. Yeah, I mean, come on. Like, I understand if it's that time where it's cold, you want it to be cold, but, like, they should know exactly when it's time to turn that shit back on because, like, forget that. You got to get it on. Only place I lived that I see or heat was Hawaii, where truth be told, you never need it either because it was perfect temps all year. Dirty, that sounds heavenly. Yeah. Like I talked about this last summer because it had been a long time since I had AC. Like there'd be times like where I'd go to conventions, and it was just like, forget this. I'm turning on the AC and I'm just sitting here. I'm going to eat here with the AC on. I'm turning it on high as soon as I get back in because they turned it down low when they cleaned the room, and I'm just going to blast the cold air here, and this is incredible. There'd be like summertime where it was just like, I'm getting my money's worth of this hotel room by just going ham on this AC. Yeah, having no control just seems wrong to me. Yeah, I mean, so the unit we've got here is wall mounted in the house. You just pop out and do it. It's not room to room because it's a system throughout. And I don't mess with it because this is, I'm living here. This is my house. So if I was, there were a couple days where I was hotter than everyone else in the house, and I did, kind of be like, hey, what if the air conditioning came on, soon? Is this the right piece? Okay, yeah, this has got to go. This. Did I grab the wrong piece out of this or no? No, that looks right. Okay, that is right. Okay, this just like clips in. It's not super stable. It doesn't feel like. So I thought I might have done it wrong, but I didn't. Okay, all right. That's the arm. We're done with one arm. Around Thanksgiving time, it was cold night in AZ for about a week. Got in the 60s during the day, maybe 40 at night. Yep. Which I suggest using extra blankets for that week. Totally. I mean, honestly, it's not the AC. It's not having central air that like I think you all would be like, yeah, if you just have control and you control the whole house and there's a thermostat and you can get an app or whatever. Like, I think you all will like get used to that real quick. It's the fact that, and people don't get this, radiator heat does not compute to people that haven't lived it. Like the idea that there's a boiler somewhere in the house. Somebody turns on the boiler or turns it off, and then there's just heat that radiates through pipes and like devices in every room, and you can like open and close it and maybe adjust it a little bit, but you don't really have a say. So it's either just hot or it's not hot. And then if it's been off for a while and it comes back on, it makes a noise, and there's literally a whistling noise. People are like, what are you talking about? And the only people in the world who have ever been burned by a radiator are people that don't know what the deal is with radiator heat, and they go into a bathroom and touch the hot pipe. Because the way apartment buildings are set up in New York and other places certainly is you have one pipe that goes from the boiler up through every bathroom in the apartment. And it's just one pipe that goes up there, and there's a little space for the heat to come out of it, and there's no control over it, and it gets hot. And of course, it's insulated. It's supposed to not be hot, but it is. It could be worse than it is. And there's just a hot pipe that you have in the corner of your bathroom, and hope you don't touch it with your knee. If you have a small bathroom and you sit down at the toilet, you might just touch that with your knee and just have a very bad time. And you're like, ow, I just kind of singed my hair on my leg because of this bathroom. But yeah, radiator heat, people are just like, what are you talking about? Yikes, indeed, Ghost. Hi, Ghost. Would you ever use your radiators for drying clothes or warming towels or anything like that? Or are they too hot for that? So outside of the bathroom pipe, radiators themselves aren't the worst thing in the world. They are hot. They kick out hot air. So they're not actually super hot. I mean, they're metal. So, and you have to paint them with like certain paint so it doesn't chip easy. You can't just put latex on that stuff. You got to put oil based. They're hot, but they're not like scalding hot. What you certainly can do is, let's say you were out in the snow and you come back and your socks are wet. Just put your socks right on the radiator. And then they'll be dry so you can put them in your laundry. I have certainly done that. Also, in New York, I've talked about this on stream because here's the thing, because it is somewhat related to the current goings on. A thing in New York is that radiators are too hot. Too much hot comes out, like uncomfortable amount of heat comes out of radiators for the temperature you would like to be suitable. Because in tradition, the radiator is overcompensating because you want to open your windows in the winter to let fresh air in because people thought that would help with people who were dealing with the Spanish flu. So New York style radiators kick out too much heat because they assume that you also have your window open and you are letting cool air in from the window. So, well, if you're letting cool air in, we got to do extra warmth, which is why myself and many people around in New York, when I lived there, would open our windows to let cool air in because you got to keep the air going because it's too hot in your room otherwise. And then maybe you close it at night or you wake up and you're like, oh, shit, I have the window open. I fucked up. It's now too cold. But yeah. Because they believed that fresh air would be helpful at the time and having a source of fresh air. So in the wintertime, people didn't have their windows open. So they were like, well, we'll just make it open your window and then we'll crank up the radiators. But yeah, I do miss radiator heat sometimes. I miss the clanging a little bit. Every now and again, I kind of miss that this winter here. Didn't necessarily miss the New York winter. I certainly missed snow this last year. Not that New York was going to get a lot of it probably, but they got some, and I do like some snow. I mean, I'm a New England boy, born and raised in Connecticut. Lived a good portion of my life in New York, which is, mid-Atlantic, but still like have a love for some snow. Not that I miss shoveling or anything, but also, I'm a broken record about this stuff. Oh boy, I just hate lawn care so much. Ran that weed whacker I've been talking about needing to run, and that's not fun. I don't enjoy the weed whacker. It was cool to see the weeds go away, and know that I have the ability, the knowledge to take off an old spool and put on a new spool, a double spool, mind you, and I can get that going, and then it starts up, and then I have a weed whacker that works. I'm happy to know that, but like, I don't keep doing it. A broken record on this. I am well aware, but oh boy. And there are a couple plants. It's getting super hot out here, as I said, 90 degrees. Sun's coming out. There's a couple plants that aren't doing well, so they require being watered twice a day. So now, after dinner, I got to go back out there and water again. And I am happy to help. I am happy to be of help to my folks. We have a machine that is like the weed whacker, but it is a metal blade with a wheel in front, like 3 wheels, and it's called an edger. And it is, like your driveway hits your grass, but then sometimes grass grows onto the driveway, and you can cut that grass there and put an edge there, or like where a curb is on the street. Well, that thing really rattles because it's a pretty strong motor because it's spinning a metal blade. So my folks haven't done it in a while because neither of them, the vibrations, it was just like, no, we're not going to worry about that piece of equipment. So it was really nice. I'm happy I was able to say like, well, I'm here. I can do this. This is the thing I can do. And I'm happy to say that and to do those things and to help my folks out. I am thrilled to be in a position to be able to do that. But also I don't want to do this stuff anymore. I don't want to do anything with the lawn anymore. I am like over the lawn. I am like done with lawn. I'm not done with lawn, but I would like to be done with lawn. All right, we got to snap that in there. Working on the other arm here. And then we'll get D123. Put that on there. I like the snow here in Maine until enough of it goes away that all is left is dirty sidewalk snow. Nasty, yes. I think living and growing up in the South, I tend to romanticize living in the North where they actually have 4 seasons, but I know dealing with snow can be a massive pain in the ass. So, yes, parts of New England and the Mid-Atlantic we get like 2 seasons and then like a change in the seasons, right? So because of global warming and climate change, stuff like that, you really get like winter and then like a transition into summer. And then fall late, for me anyway, the last couple of years of living in New York, fall felt like it was just like, oh, it's getting a little cooler. Hey, no, you got to have pants and a long jacket. Oh, now you got to get a winter coat out. And fall would like, there was one year where fall came so late that like all the leaves just fell out at once and all the pollen was there in the fall. And then it was suddenly, it was winter. But you do get changes and it is different. Snow is a mess. And then also living in New York City, you're above the subway. So a lot of streets in New York, snow falls and then just instantly melts because the subway is kicking up so much heat that the sidewalk and the streets are warm. This is in all parts of New York, but it's a lot of parts of New York City where you just have, it's just like, no, you don't really get snow. You get like slush and garbage. But sometimes it snows so much that the streets get covered and it doesn't melt immediately. And the streetlights get covered. And the trees are bare, right? And bare trees, the snow looks so beautiful on a tree that doesn't have any leaves, and it sticks to it. And because it's snowing so bad, there aren't a lot of cars there late at night when you get out of work. This is me getting out of work, and you got to walk to the train station like 5 blocks. And you're walking down 8th Avenue, and there's just nobody there. And of course, the sidewalks aren't plowed, so you're walking in the street, but like nobody's coming at you. And if they are, you can get out of the way. And it's just this beautiful thing where like the snow, the street lights are reflecting off the snow and back out, and it's this kind of beautiful moment. And then I flash back in my head to living in Connecticut, and I lived on a hill. So when it really snowed, it was just white everywhere and the street, and there weren't street lights. And it was this like, so you just had the reflection of like lights in people's houses. And it was this like driving with all the snow stuck to the trees above you was this beautiful, beautiful experience. And when I lived in New York, I didn't have to shovel snow, and that was fucking awesome. My landlord, I would sometimes shovel the 3 steps up to the front door so that my landlord wouldn't have to do it. It would have less to shovel when he woke up in the apartment I spent most of my time in. And that did not need to happen, but I felt very good about doing that. I felt like I was being a good tenant by helping out. But I didn't have to shovel driveways for like 19 years, and it fucking ruled because shoveling the driveway was my job. And I did not enjoy it in Connecticut. And of course, my car was parked on the street. It wasn't parked in the driveway. So I had to shovel around my car to get out it. And when I shoveled the driveway, I had to make sure I wasn't piling snow in front of my car. And it was like this whole thing. I miss a lot about Connecticut. I don't miss that part of it. And I genuinely did love, my time like in New York with like experiencing snow without having experienced like some of the bad parts, which was, the shoveling. Uh, and then, yeah, sometimes it was just gorgeous. It would just be absolutely beautiful. And sometimes it would just be, oh, that bit of snow there, that's a lie. It's just a tiny bit of snow over a lot of mush and water. And you just stepped in a big puddle because that is there's something is underneath there that is heating up that part of the street, and it's just like, nope, you just stepped into a giant puddle and you are gross, and you have to have sneakers in your backpack or your messenger bag because you're wearing real thick boots that are also super wet and gross. And when you get to where you're going, you got to take those off and you got to put sneakers on and you got to have a change of socks some days, not every day, but some days, or you're going to be feeling it and be real annoyed. Or you'll just have wet feet all day and curse everyone. Curse your lot in life and curse everyone you know. Because why is this happening to you? Groundhog Day style puddles. Yes, Lord of Crashington. That was definitely a thing because, like I said, it would be beautiful and then the snow would be over. But you wouldn't necessarily know that. There'd be a little powder of snow in there, and yeah, you would just get, because like the streets would get plowed, but the sidewalks wouldn't always, and so you just get to a sidewalk and then you get across the street to the next sidewalk and you're like, how am I doing this? Where am I going? I guess I'm just walking into a snowbank and trying not to get hit by a car when I get out of it. But also, I've been trying not to because I don't want people to be like, oh yeah, Pat, and feel sorry for me because I am blessed in many ways, and I am not trying to say I'm not, but friends of mine are starting to promote their comedy shows in New York that are they're happening in June, but they're promoting them now because they're like, we're going to do this in June. And it's like, on the one hand, I'm like, hell yeah, you do those things. You get back into it. You perform your performers. Let's go. And the other part of me is like, fuck you. I don't live in New York. Don't tell me about your fucking comedy shows. They're not directing it at me. They're telling the world. But I'm like, fuck you. I hate this. I want to be there. I'm jealous of you. Fuck off. I don't want to be like that. I want to be happy for my friends that are getting out there and performing and trying to make things work and getting back to business. Yeah, it's hard. I want to have that. I want that for me, I want to get back there. And I will, but it's not an anytime soon thing. It is a will happen thing. So, before we're a ways away from taking our pause to the cause and then talking about, anime and stuff like that. I will say, go to my Twitter if you haven't checked it out today, or if you're in the Discord, there's a link in the Discord. There is a poll. Actually, I can link it here in chat. I'll link it here in chat. It's also going to be in chat. Let me just go get the link. I have a poll let me just hit the send. Yeah, we're going to send this. We're going to send it via link. Let me get a shorter link there. Copied. Okay. So I got a poll going up right now. And I'm putting a link there right in the chat. It's a Google form. And it says, what should I buy from Amazon? Recently, I got a Google AdSense payout, which I did. I hit my $100, so I got a payout from Google AdSense for YouTube views and YouTube memberships. What should I buy from Amazon with it? And I have 3 options here. These are all things I can buy on Amazon. They are all master grades. They are all expensive master grades. There's the Jesta, the Destiny Gundam, and the Savior Gundam. And they're all master grades. And the responses right now are 15 responses want the Jesta, 13 responses want the Destiny Gundam, and 5 responses want the Savior. So right now it is between the Jesta and the Destiny pretty much. Oh, it went up to 14 responses and 15 responses in the time. So it was all Jesta all the way for most of the day, with some people voting for the Destiny, but the Destiny has been peaking up. Now, I don't want to influence the decision for either. I will say that the Jesta is the most expensive one. And that's fine. It doesn't matter. As I said, I have this money. This money came from people watching ads on YouTube, and people in a small portion of that from people giving $2 a month, and I get a portion of that from YouTube memberships. So this is part of the thing. Like the last time I got a Google payout was my first ever. I bought model kits with it. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to buy model kits with it. But it is very funny that like the immediate front runner was the most expensive kit that possible, and I was like, yeah. Of course, y'all want me to get that. Sure. But these are big master grades. It'll be a while for me to build. It'll take a while to build, and they are not inexpensive. These are pricey, and even more so because all model kits have gone up in price. So I don't expect them to be a deal on any of them, but I am looking forward to picking these kits up in the future, picking a kit up from this. This is not like when I had money. I picked up in December. I picked up a kit that people voted on, and then I also picked up another kit because that suddenly went on sale, and so I got that too, which is the Strike Noir, which was third in the poll, and it shows because it never wins my $10 patrons vote. It never wins. People don't want to see me build that. I will it someday, but yeah. Thank you to everybody that's voted in that poll. We're up to 35 responses, which is great. I'm gonna keep it up till sometime tomorrow, I think, because even if there are prices that fluctuate, it won't fluctuate too much. And I kind of just like want more people to be able to see it. Now the Destiny Gundam is tied with the Jesta. People like that Destiny Gundam, and I think that's fine. So right now we're in a dead heat. So if you haven't voted, you could go vote. But I'm going to keep that up for a day. And look, eventually I'll build all of them. I mean, the idea is that eventually I will get all these kits. I'll have to. Or they're also on my Amazon wish list, which like I was tempted to take them down while this poll was up. But I was like, well, if somebody wanted to buy me one of them off of the wish list, then I would just get one of the other ones. Because they're there at the bottom of the wish list because they are some of the most expensive kits on the list. Although, did the Sword Impulse go back up in price? How much is the... Oh, no, Sword Impulse went down in price. Okay, yeah. So they are now the 3 most expensive kits on this list, on my list. And that's, as I said, that's fine. I want to get these at some point. Gonna move that there. Ooh. Oh no, I was like, ooh, that $18 for the G Reco kit. No, that's $18 plus $24 shipping. So no, that is not a good price anymore. Or a good price at the moment. But I keep an active look at my my list here. The Amazon wish list, and I try to keep things organized. And like, everyone started their Gundam life with Destiny and Toonami. Well, dirty, and a lot of people certainly did. I think there are plenty of people that did. For me, obviously, I am older, and my start was on Wing. So that was my first Gundam, but it was also on Toonami because even though I'm old, Toonami was also old. So. But yeah, no, there's certainly people that are hyped for those kits. And I'm excited to build. I mean, they look great. All these look good. Like, somebody said that they're like, hey, you haven't watched all of these Gundam shows, or you're not like a big fan of all of the shows, right? And it's like, yeah, that's true, but you don't have to love every moment of every one of the shows to appreciate a cool-looking mobile suit. Because a cool-looking mobile suit is always going to be a cool-looking mobile suit. Why am I having trouble getting these to line up right in my brain here? This is like this. This goes like this. I know that. Right. Yeah, okay. But yeah, a good-looking suit. Enjoyed the Bernie Sanders Gundam meme the other day. Oh, yeah. Yeah, Yeah, I like a good meme. As I said, there was that meme going around a little bit of like, what's the worst mecha series you've ever seen? And it included like, don't say Darling in the Franxx or Iron Blooded Orphans. And I was like, wait, do people not like Iron Blooded Orphans? And it was such a like a shock to my system because of course there are people that don't like. There's the people that don't like anything or everything, but I was like, who the fuck doesn't like Iron Blooded Orphans? It kicks ass. It's an awesome show. It's sad, but it's great, and the mobile suits are incredible. What the fuck's happening? Who are these people? But they also, I think, just wanted like they didn't want like popular answers. They wanted like obscure bad mecha anime, and it's like, okay, well they're out there. I don't know necessarily. I mean, the most boring recent example is Listeners, because Listeners was just so boring, and I was just so not into it. I heard it gets pretty okay, but I wasn't gonna stick around. And then I heard that Back Arrow gets dark, just gets dark, real dark and sad, and I was like, that doesn't surprise me. Anytime, look, I can't tell you this with every show. This isn't for every show, but for a lot of shows. If it's a fantasy show, sorry, I said that word real weird. If it is a fantasy show, if your show is fantasy and the main character has amnesia, they are either not a human or they are evil. And the amnesia, then they eventually somewhat awaken. Like, if your main character has amnesia, they're possibly not a human being. They are an artificial construct or an alien or something. Or they are an ancient evil or something, or they were a bad person, and now they're different again. And that is not necessarily always the case, I said, but it is often the case. I have a friend who doesn't like the mobile suit designs. Can't remember if he watched it or not. Yeah, I mean, look, the demonic style. I mean, this kit is highly influenced, especially the legs. You'll be able to see more of it as we go. This is highly influenced by Iron Blooded Orphans, which means that I am a big fan of it because I think those designs are so fucking cool. I'm such a big fan of them. Because I just think that they're just neat. They're just neat, cool designs. All right, so this has got to go like this. I love the demonic kind of vibes of them. I love the haunched overness of it. I think it rules. But yeah, I stopped watching that show because they brutally killed a minor character that I really liked in the show, and I was already not having as much fun with it. But that hero show, the successor, Knight Successor, Hero Successor, whatever, Revolution. I stopped watching it. I'll probably watch like the last episode when it's done. But like that, the main character had so little going on and was so confused about like the concept of love. I was like, I feel like this isn't a real person. Like, I don't know. And if I'm spoiling something, I apologize. They were just about, but the episode I didn't watch, they were going to introduce the villains of the show because we hadn't met any of the fucking villains. We just met the monsters. We hadn't met the people behind the monsters. But in the opening song and closing credits, or in the opening credits, you could see who they were because they had dark lines around their eyes to denote that they're evil. And I was like, I wonder if they're going to be like, are they actually evil or are we the baddies? And I don't know if that was good. I don't think that was going to be the case, but it felt very much like this main dude, like, they keep saying like, oh, everyone in this village was killed, but we saved you. And you're like, yeah, but he doesn't talk about anybody. He doesn't talk about his parents or friends or anyone in that village. He was just there, and he's got a hero that nobody knows anything about. He's like lost to time. And I'm just like, nah, this isn't a real person. This is like an amalgamation of magic or something. This is like an embodiment of good or evil that has been that hasn't been corrupted, fully or something, like a force of evil, something like that. I was just like, no, this is a magic kid. This isn't a real person. If he is a real person, they just didn't give him personality, which is possible, because he is a main character in an anime based on a video game. So maybe they just didn't write anything for him. I don't know. But yeah, they killed Shirley, the main character that I thought was cool and fun, and I was like, they're probably not bringing her back. She evaporated into dust, so I imagine she's not coming back. Maybe she is, but her name wasn't Shirley. That's right. Shirley is the vampire lady. Let's see. We're going to take our pause to the cause in a little bit. We'll talk about ways you can support the channel, as always. Then we'll talk about the anime I did watch in the last couple of days. I was trying to go through a few. I don't know. I've been watching I was watching compilations, try to like find a show to like marathon that like I haven't seen, because there's still stuff out there I haven't seen. Certainly, I haven't watched every anime. So I was trying to find something, and I found an isekai I hadn't watched, The Familiar of Zero, which is like a 2008. I want to say 2007, 2008. It's not widescreen. I'll say that it was not a widescreen show. So I was like, oh, I might try this. It's got humor. The humor. I don't know if the humor worked in 2008, but it didn't work when I was trying to watch it. But I really like the premise, because it tries to break the isekai mold a bit. Because obviously it's an isekai. You got a guy, he's summoned to a fantasy world, and he's got to like figure shit out, and save the day and all that. But the twist for this one, the one that made Familiar Zero they were going for, is he gets summoned as a familiar, hence the name. So most of the time people summon like spirits or animals, animal companions, things that take the form of an animal. They haven't apparently in the past ever summoned a random Japanese kid to just be a familiar. Of course, he has the ability to like craft or hold weapons, and he ends up being special. But she's just like, and they got to figure out why this girl, Louise, is like so bad at magic, because she shouldn't be bad at magic, but because she like, it wasn't on purpose that he got summoned. And I was like, I kind of really like that premise. I think that's a fun way to start a show, just being like, this is not on purpose. This dude is here, and he is not supposed to be here. But it also just has just some jokes that like I'm like, is that a joke? What you're doing right now? Is this comedy right now? I don't know about that. It was like, yeah, some of it is hard to watch. So I was like, okay, well, maybe I won't keep watching it. So yeah, I kind of gave up on it. But I am still in the hunt for like good, yeah, just like anything I haven't seen. I've been trying to watch some slice of lives I haven't seen all the way through. I think Sakura Quartet is gonna be my next one, because that is an isekai, or not isekai. It is a slice of life I have not seen. It is a girl that ends up at a small town, being like the travel agent, and her kind of mission is to like increase tourism, and so there are other people that help out with that. And that is a show that I just haven't seen, but I've heard such good things about from people that I'm like, okay, I think that might be my next like marathon series that I kind of just watch, like try to get into. I think that might be the thing that I'm like, okay, I'll go for it. I've had a hankering recently for restaurants that are no longer operating in my area, currently missing Pancho's, Grandy's, Shoney's, and Catfish King. Any place you can't eat anymore. I mean, dirty. So like, I do miss some chain stuff, because there's some chain, New England and like, I do miss a classic diner, because there are places here that feel like diners, but they aren't classic diners. So I do certainly miss classic diner style places. because that was a huge part of my life growing up, was just killing a lot of time in diners. So I do miss that. I think this goes in like this. Is that right? How did this go? Sorry. Trying to figure out. So this goes on here. So this is going to go clip this way. Okay. That's how that goes. So I do miss the classic diner. That was an important part of my existence in my life for many, many years. So I do miss that. The only Arby's anywhere close to me is closed. I didn't go often, but I still have like having the option. Yes. So there was one Arby's. There's many Arby's in Connecticut. There was one Arby's in New York, and I would go to it, and I enjoyed having that Arby's as an art. I did enjoyed having the Arby's option, and also next to the Arby's was a Jollibee, and I only went to that Jollibee like 3 times, but that chicken over spaghetti was real good. It was real good. That Jollibee's like chicken stuff was pretty dang tasty. So I wouldn't mind getting that again, certainly. And then here, like, yeah, we just don't do really fast food around here, so I'm not going to that. I miss Friendly's. Friendly's was a, like, quickish meal, like, kind of dinery place that you could go to, kind of like a Denny's, but better, with a great dessert menu. Great dessert menu at Friendly's, so I miss that. Sweet Tomatoes Soup Plantation closed with the pandemic. I miss that. I've never been to a sweet tomatoes, I should say. Hell Shake Brando is following. Thank you for the follow, Hell Shake. Welcome to the Baer Workshop. This piece popped off, so I'm going to try to get back on. We are done with the top half of our kit. So this is what it looks like from the front side of the Load Astray double rebake, and of course, we'll do some modifications when it's this side's time to shine, this part of the kit, because you can turn it around, which is fun. Glad to be here. Well, yeah, glad to have you. Buffet style. Ooh, yeah, buffets. Oh, I do miss this. Okay, the Friendlies to my town got replaced with the Five Guys. Ain't that the way? Ain't that the way? I don't mind a good buffet, like like a country buffet. Yeah, I don't mind those. A China buffet. And this is a weird thing to say, but in Connecticut, they weren't called Chinese buffets. They were called China buffet. And that was the name of like 3 different Chinese buffet style restaurants. And so that became what I called Chinese buffets, is China buffet, which is wrong. It's a wrong thing. But because there were places called China buffet, in my head, that was what it was called. And I do miss a Chinese buffet. Oof. You just get, like, you find the couple meats you really like, and you just pile them there. They're always going to have rice. Do they have crab legs? Yes, they do. Can you take those crab legs to go? No, you can't. Don't you think you can put those in a to-go container and get a good deal? You got to eat there. You got to eat right there. You got to have it right in the store. I spent a lot of time at Chinese buffets eating, and that was some good cooking, good, cheap, lots of Chinese food cooking. And then also they had an ice cream bar, because you gotta have an ice cream. You gotta have like a soft serve thing and a bunch of toppings, right? You can't not. Also, Chinese buffets often have, at least the ones I've been to, often have like the kids section with like French fries and like chicken tenders. And why not get those too? Maybe I won't get the fries, but yeah, I'll get some chicken tenders. Why not? Yeah, sure. I don't care. What do I care? We got tiny stickers to go on this. Tiny stickers. Get out of here, tiny stickers. We're working on the legs here, so we'll get this one done here before we take our pause to the cause. We'll at least get this first sticker part on, and then we'll do the other leg here. Get this leg assembled. You get stared at hard on your 5th trip to the fried shrimp. Indeed. Oh yeah, if you're going, because there would be people that would go to those kind of places just for the seafood, because they're going to get their money's worth, right? They're going for the legs. They're going for the fried shrimp. They're not there to get well, I'll try a little of this and I'll try a little of that there. And, no, there you go. Like the same people that were just like, I'm at this buffet for prime rib. I'm going to have prime rib with a side of prime rib. And for dessert, prime rib. Oh, my appetizer, prime rib. Like, I get that. I understand it. I get it. That's your way. That's your style. That's your thing. Do what you got to do. But yeah, they certainly would you would certainly get dirty looks for that. Dirty wants me to ring the bell twice, so I will, because I have a bell, because you have points to burn, so I'm going to ring this bell here. I'm going to ring the bell again. I rang that bell. Thank you very much for using your channel points for a nonsense thing like that. All right, let's get these two little stickers on here on this one leg. We'll do the other stickers when we come back from our pause to the cause. I'm not going anywhere. I'm just going to stop building model kit for a couple minutes at one point soon and talk to you about ways you can support the channel, because that is the thing I do once a stream. I don't run ads during the stream, but I do ads for me and my whole thing. Talk about ways you can support the channel and all that. Optional things you can do, but that would still be rad if you did them. All right, we'll put that on there. One more sticker. Yes, Ad Bear, yes. Trail Dust Steakhouse is now on my list for $13.99. All you can eat steak and sides Thursday. All right, Dirty. Dirty, that doesn't sound bad at all to me. That sounds like a thing you could do. Yeah, hell yeah. Oops, oh no. I went to peel the sticker and it got a little bent and weird and disappeared. Where did it go? There it is. Then it got weird. Sometimes these tiny stickers, you gotta really like bend away from the paper to get them out. But there we go. Okay, I got it. This little sticker was being real annoying. And that is the problem with high grades like this, right? We just built that Zaku 2 that had one sticker, but also that's a Zaku 2 and it's not trying to do a lot. It's not trying to reinvent the wheel. It's trying to be a cool Zaku 2. So you can kind of understand. But yeah. Come on. Here we go. They went out of business. I wonder why. Oh, yeah. Okay. I mean, sometimes they do, right? Sometimes those big chains go out because they're doing these stunts to like get in your mind, and then you try to go on a night where they're not doing these big stunts, and you're like, well, we're here. We might as well just get some food. But the problem is that people don't do that. People don't go, well, they have this great deal on Thursdays, but it's Tuesday, so let's go to that place anyway and just spend enough money. We'll just spend other money. But people are like, no, we'll wait till Thursday to go there. No steak today, everybody. We got to wait. Anyway, we got another leg to do here. But right now, it's a pause for the cause. And if you're unfamiliar with what that means, it's my time to talk about ways you can support the channel. None of the things I'm about to talk about here are things you have to do. But if you would like to do them, it would be awesome, and I would love that. These are ways to support what I do here, but they are all optional. I got to go to check out my commands list so I can get all my commands up here for Nightbot. First and foremost, if you're currently a subscriber to the channel, you can throw the Bear Cave or the Lego emote if you're a tier 2. If Aristophan is here, or one of my other tier 2 subscribers, you can throw the Scythe emote into chat. And that's just a way of letting people know, like, hey, here's a reward. You get 2 cool emotes, and again, if you're tier 2 or 3, you get the Scythe emote, me looking like Death Scythe, which is fun. And that is a way to show your support here. The easiest way to support what I do is through subscribing, either using your Prime Gaming token or coming in here with the cash money. If you have been gifted a sub, you can convert that to a regular subscription, and they won't charge you until your gift sub is up. Speaking of which, if you would like to be a gift sub for the Build with Baer Workshop and the wide variety of streams that I do, that would be awesome. If you want to gift somebody in the community a sub, you could do that as well. You could join the gift sub leaderboard. You get a little icon next to your name if you've gifted subs, if you're on that leaderboard, and it's cool. Also, bits and coins are always appreciated, like Dirty and Harold and Dr. Jones did, gifting some bits. That always appreciated, because that money goes into me buying model kits, as I said. I will say that I have a Patreon, and you can join my Patreon at patreon.com/PatBear. That is an alternative if you're not interested in having Twitch, paying money through Twitch. You could join my Patreon. That is a different alternative method of supporting what I do, and I would appreciate that. That is again, an optional thing you could do if you are so inclined. And there are tiers and all that, and you should look at that. Over on YouTube, youtube.com/PatBear, I offer memberships. Now, obviously, subscribing to my YouTube is free, but if you want to become a member, that's $2 a month. You get a video a day early. My Wednesday video series, which every year I do a different series. This year, I am doing Baer With Me, where I react to things, the reaction videos, and I'll put those up on Tuesday for you one day early. Over at youtube.com/PatBear. Also, if you're watching this later on YouTube in my archive, what's up, YouTube? You can find all these links in the show description below. We'll get back to building real soon. Just want to get through my ads very fast, and then we're going to start working on more of these legs. So let's get back into me talking about, direct donations. Everything I make through Twitch, through Patreon, through YouTube. I just said I'm going to be buying a model kit with the money I got on my YouTube. And direct donations all go to me buying model kits and equipment to keep the thing going, keep the streams going, keep the 6 hours a week of model kit building happening. So thank you very much to everyone that supported me by being a subscriber or joining the Patreon or being a member of my YouTube or a donation now and again. Or maybe you've bought me a kit on my Amazon wish list. The 3 kits that I put up for a poll that I mentioned earlier, I'm going to be buying one of those. Those are available on my Amazon wish list, which has Lego sets and high grades and master grades. It's got inexpensive kits, tiny little kits. It's got more expensive kits. The Spider-Man and Ghost Rider versus Carnage set is on sale. That's neat. And you buy something from there, it comes to me, I'll build it on stream, and it'll jump the queue. So I'll build it before everything else that I have waiting for me to build. And then I'll also shoot a video unboxing it, or talking about it. It's not really an unboxing, but it is kind of. I do a mailbag video where I'll say like, hey, this person bought off my wish list, check it out. But I got a bunch of stuff on there, and as I said, I do have those kits that I would be happy to build on. They're expensive. They're towards the bottom there, and some equipment. If you want to see me, instead of using the headset, use a big USB mic with a stand and get all fancy, I could do that, but that is expensive. So I put up a whole set there that has like the clamp and all that, because that way it could be above where I'm building and not in the way, that kind of stuff. But that's all there on my Amazon. And again, it'll jump the queue if you buy something from Amazon. Alternatively, you can buy a gift card to USA Gundam Store and then send me a DM on Twitter because my DMs are open, with the gift card code, and I'll buy something from USA Gundam Store. So you'd be supporting 2 local businesses, a store in Florida that sells model kits, and me. I'm a small business. I'm a small businessman. If you want to help me and not spend any money, you can join my Discord. That's a nice little way. I post build photos every stream. People post stuff they're working on. It's a nice little chill community of fine folks. So feel free to join the Discord there. Let's see, what else do I want to say? Oh, plug some videos before we get back to building. I put up a new episode of Pat Bear's Anime Club today. It's about my favorite food anime. And that's not my favorite food in anime. It's my favorite shows about food. Some of them are cooking shows, competition cooking shows, but also the slice of lives that revolve around good food. One of them is a show about another activity, but the food in it is really good, and they care about food in it, so I included it. But yeah, that's my new Pat Bear's Anime Club. I was going to do one on an idol show I really like, but I'm waiting for the 2nd season of that idol show to complete before I do that video, because it felt weird doing it before I got through 2 seasons of it. So I was like, I'm going to wait on that. But that I think it's a pretty fun video. This week's Bear With Me that I put up last Wednesday. I'll have a new episode up this Wednesday. But the previous Bear With Me is me talking over footage of a cool bird. It's just a cool bird. Okay, I looked at it. But yeah, those are some links you should check out. I'm gonna get ready to talk about some anime. I'm gonna drink some water. We're gonna talk about 3 shows I've been watching. I'll say this right now. The plan on Wednesday right now is to play Hearthstone. Now, if tomorrow I get a review code for a indie game, because I have made the request for that review code. I have not heard back from them, but the game comes out tomorrow, so if I get the code, it'll be tomorrow. If I get that, that is the game I'll play on Wednesday. But there's no guarantee that's going to happen. As I said, I was given the opportunity to ask for one and made the request. I don't normally do that, but like I said, I did. And so if that goes through, that's what I'll play on Wednesday. But right now the plan is we'll do that if that happens. But if it doesn't happen, then I'll play Hearthstone, which I was going to do last week, but then Power Wash Simulator came out. So I was like, oh, well, I'm not. I wanted to get Power Wash Simulator, and I did. So we played that on stream. And then I'll play Hearthstone this week. I got one deck I've been playing since the last time I played on stream that I like, and it's a priest deck. A priest deck that I like. How weird. It's very weird that I like that deck. So, all right. Now we're going to talk about some anime, and I'm going to continue working on this. We'll work on the other part of this piece. We're just going to go, we're doing 2 at a time because we can do almost the entire legs together. So we'll do that. So we need C, C, and B. Okay. All right. So My Hero Academia we're in season 5 right now. The whole season has been, battles between, the class 1A and class 1B. With the inclusion of the guy who can brainwash people, who is in the general studies, but he's fighting for his way into the hero program. So that's been kind of interesting. So this episode, Bakugo led his merry band of his team to a complete and total 4-0, 4 wins, 0 loss victory. No injuries, no major injuries. It was cool to see Bakugo, like what Bakugo thinks being a like flawless hero is. He still doesn't know the names of some people that he calls like minor characters. Like he just calls Jiro Ears, which is, and I appreciate that Jiro constantly like, that's not my name. My name is Jiro or Earjack. Call me my actual name. My name isn't Ears. And I appreciate that she is like insistent of like, don't fucking call me the wrong name. Come on. I wanted to see more of a fight between the glue guy that I think is weird looking. And I love how weird looking he is. And Cellophane, the tape dude, because their powers like should have interacted more in that fight. But it was still cool to see them just like worked well together and like play off of each other and figure shit out. It was cool. It was a cool episode. The next one is going to be the final battle, and it will involve everyone's kind of worried about Deku because he's really strong, and also added a like distance attack recently. So they're like, ooh, he's going to be tough. But I want to know more about the other people. Like, I kind of know stuff about the other team. So there's a guy that, like, there's a kid that's, like, he's kind of, like, chubby and short. And he's called, like, Double Impact or something like that. Or, like, Twin Impact, something like that. But he's got a scouter. And he's got, like, the Dragon Ball Z, like, Vegeta's crew scouter. And I want to know what the fuck his deal is. Because I don't really know. Also, there's a girl whose hero costume is basically she looks like a ghost. She looks like a classic Japanese ghost. That's her hero costume. And she has telekinesis, which is, yeah, I know that ghosts like move stuff around, but that's not, like, you'd think that if she was in the world of My Hero Academia, you would think a girl that looked like a ghost would like be able to like phase through stuff or something like that, right? Not just move stuff around with telekinesis. Also, so she's got this like she's got this kind of like haunted girl kind of goth but like real, not like a style thing going. Her hero name is Emily. Her hero name is Emily, and I think that fucking rules. I love that she's just like, a real haunted girl name. She's basically a haunted doll, and I think that's just awesome. I think it's just like such a great like weird choice. Like hero name Emily. Is very strange. Is there any other girl in the next? Yeah. And the preview is hinting that Deku has been having some issues with All for One, his power. Or no, One for All, I should say. One for All is his power. No, All for One. Yes. It's All for One and One for All. It's so, it's sometimes confusing, but it's One for All is giving him some problems. And I know a manga spoiler, and I'm excited to. I unfortunately, this was like a year and change ago, was told about through the fucking Twitter, found out a manga spoiler about Deku, and I am very excited to see that enter the anime because it's pretty fucking cool. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah. Let's see. We'll get to there. Yeah. All right. We got those stickers on. We can continue with our build. But anyway, My Hero Academia Season 5. I'm enjoying it. I've been liking the fights and to see them training. I'm kind of more interested in the next villain shit that's coming in because there's going to be some villain shit because Dobby was in like the beginning of the season. And so Dobby is going to be looks like Dobby's going to be stepping out into like main villain character status, which is kind of interesting to see since he was a minor role previously, but it looks like he is making some moves. And so we'll see what the fuck happens there. Okay, now I'm going to talk to you about Dragon Goes House Hunting. If you have not been watching Dragon Goes House Hunting, it is a story of Letty, a kind dragon who is kicked out of his home and searching for the home of his dreams. And luckily for him, he met Daria, who is a very wizened, young-looking, but has been around for a long time, elf that also at one point was a demon lord, but is mostly known for being a real estate agent and also helping monsters find homes and build homes sometimes. That is his passion, is helping creatures find places that are safe from humans and dwarves and other creatures that want to do monsters harm. Letty, a couple episodes ago, found and then ended up, through circumstance, adopting a magical bird named Pip. And one of the jokes right now is that Letty doesn't know what Pip's saying because Pip just squeaks like a little white little fluff. And so Letty doesn't know what he's saying, but just about any other creature in the entire show knows what Pip is up to. Pip also decided that Letty is his dad and is real proud and thinks that his dad is like very cool, which is very cute. It is a fun bit of business. Big fan of Pip. And Pip is the lead character in the first half of this episode. They are not looking for houses right now or looking for like areas to build. They're taking a relaxing day, and Pip goes on a little adventure. And Pip meets a little leprechaun and the leprechaun is like, will you hear my sad tale? And it was like, uh-oh. I mean, yes, sure. And Pip was just like, yeah, sure, what's up? And this sad tale, yeah, I mean, it is a pretty sad tale. Okay, so where does this connect into? This is going to go like this. Yeah. This dragon, or not dragon, sorry, this leprechaun. Hey, welcome, Mr. Bob. Happy to have you here. Talking about some anime, talking about Dragon goes house hunting, and our friend Pip, the little bird, meets this leprechaun, and the leprechaun's like, hey, me and my friend, we lived in an old shoe, and then life was good, but then a hero came by and destroyed our shoe house, and now we don't have anywhere to live. And Pip's like, I got you. We'll steal a shoe from the heroes. And does, and manages to get them a new shoe to live in, which is cute and fun. And that's Pip's adventure. And I was like, oh, wait, that's just the only part of this episode. I assumed there would be more of the episode would be about Pip having some fun. But it was short-lived. And then we're back to Zoom. We are back to them all together. And they're like, oh, we would love to hear something, Daria, about your childhood. And Daria's like, I don't really want. And they're like, they give him like the puppy dog eyes. And he's like, fine, I'll tell you about my childhood. And then we get the rest of the episode is a backstory about Daria, which we've learned before that like he didn't want to become the Demon Lord. He was only the Demon Lord in name only. But yeah, we learn about his early childhood, and he's always been somebody that like wanted to study magic and the answers and learn about the world. And he wanted to be left alone, but he was supposed to be in an area with lots of other children, little elf children, and he didn't want to do that. And they're like, well, fucking fine. Why don't you go study with the serpent in the north? It's going to be rough, but you can go do that if you want. And so, he's like, sure, I'll go there. So Daria meets his sensei, his master, who's going to train him in the ways of the world, named Jormungandr? It's an ancient serpent named Jormungandr that I didn't say that name right, but we're going to just go with the ancient serpent. And it's a giant serpent, and she seems very nice. And she's like, sure, you can be my apprentice. But the big problem, like she knows she's not just gonna like give him trivia. She's gonna explain like how the world works and like encourage him to like learn, and to kind of get satisfied with that, like the process of learning things, not just the answer to questions. So that kind of his learns magic and the ways of the world and all this stuff. Well, the one thing she can't teach him is architecture or construction. And that's something he fucking needs because they learn pretty quickly that a giant serpent just moving around just keeps destroying the house that he has. And, it's in the north, so he's got to have a place to live. Otherwise, he's going to have to go back home, and he doesn't want to because they'll, be condescending about how he gave up and all that. So he's like, I don't want to go back. I want to stay here and learn from you. So they try a bunch of different designs, and like he's just like learning as he goes about like how to do this and thinking this is pretty cool. And then we've met them later, but the old lady, the sisters who are who like that he buys his supplies from now, they're around, and they like they're talking about stuff, and like they decide to help him out, which is kind of fun that like he's been going to them all these years. And they help out with materials for Daria's big plan. He's going to build a lightweight tent that is still warm, but it's lightweight, and he's going to build it on the serpent, like on the behind her head, so that way she'll never roll around like that, and she won't accidentally crush it. And that's the Daria story. And I guess next episode we're going to learn more about when Daria met the black dragon that he helped out for a long time and was one of his old friends, which is one of the reasons why he is currently helping Letty, is because he had a great time with a dragon back in the day. So I am this wasn't about Letty finding a house, but it was fun, and so I do appreciate that. I think it was still like a cool episode, even if it wasn't exactly what I was expecting. I should also say, there is a character in the opening animation of this show that we have not met yet, and I was like, when are we gonna meet this girl? What's her deal? When is she gonna show up? I don't know. But Dragon Goes House Hunting. Here's my real thing. I don't know if you would want to watch this every week. I would say this is a show that like you like wait till the season is over and then like watch a couple in a row and see if it's something that you want to watch more of, because it's not a lot happens and it's well done. It's well crafted. It's like an enjoyable show, but I don't know if it's like worth waiting week to week for. That's my general feeling on it so far. Like, I like it, but I don't know if I like love it. All right, so I need 11. D111. And I feel a little similarly about Let's Make a Mug 2. So if you haven't been watching Let's Make a Mug 2, TOO, not the year 2, TOO, it is a show clearly sponsored by Tajimi City, which is because this is definitely an attempt at increasing tourism, which they are renowned for their pottery and their works, tiles and clay and stuff of that, ceramics, all that stuff. So this is a show about like a girl who moves to town and joins the pottery club and is like trying to figure out, you know, if she likes it. Then she finds out her mother, who passed away, Himeno is the main character, was an incredible pottery girl, and so she's like, I kind of want to do it. And so it's just that. And there's like a competition coming up, like a yearly competition coming up, and that's like in the back of everyone's minds to kind of push them. I say that to tell you that this episode featured only like 30 seconds of any of the characters on a pottery wheel. This whole episode, and it's very clear from the beginning, was just a weird dream that one of the girls was having. And I got excited because Micah, who is the character that has the least going on in the show, one of the least things going on in the show, and she was introduced like she was going to be a major character. So I was like, oh, cool, Micah gets to do some stuff. That's fun. She's a fun character. She's like the lively one, and she makes lots of cute animal ceramics. That's fun. But really, this was just an episode where she was like fell asleep and was daydream, or like it had like a weird daydream about some very strange goings on, and it's all weird because we're like, there's a thing about like eels in the river and catching the eels, and then they're like the upperclassmen kind of like flirts with her, and you're like, oh, does she have feelings for her? That's interesting. Cool. But you know, it's in a dream, so like, who has feelings for who? Is this projection? This is probably projection on her part. So that's kind of interesting. Will they get into that? Probably not. But you kind of get to see what Micah thinks of the other girls. Like they're just kind of going to stereotypes. And they meet Himeno, the main girl's grandma, who they've met before, but this is like her as a teen, and that's fucking weird. She sings a song, and it's like, it's just very strange. There's kappas, and it's very weird. But then she wakes up, and it was all just a dream. It was a very strange episode. It was one of the things where you're like, this is a show about pottery, right? Like, I'm pretty sure this is a show about girls doing pottery, and a not so subtle advertisement for the region. Maybe they should do pottery in the show. I don't know. So it was a little weird to have like a dream sequence episode. But they did it. And now, so this show isn't a full-length series. It's like 14 minutes. And then there's like a 9-minute thing that is an accompaniment to it. And we don't often get that in American or in the rest of the world. Usually it's just on Japanese television and that's it. And we don't see it. But we do see this because of the licensing deal, I guess. So we get to see them talk about this live action portion, which is the voice actresses of the show being in Tajimi City, just kind of like going to places, and it's scripted. I mean, it's loosely scripted, but they have some improvised moments, and it's just like more tourist stuff, but it's often more fun than the anime. So I'll tell you about what happens in there. Um, uh, let's see. Okay, so they get sweets. They're wearing utikas, which is if you've watched anime and there's a summer festival, that is what they're wearing, utikas. And they're wearing their fancy dress, and it gets a little rainy, so they all have big umbrellas. It's nice. I do want to point out that they're walking around the city, and in the background you can see people living their regular lives, and all those people are all wearing masks. So it definitely sets this at a time, and I appreciate that. Hey, the residents of Tajima City that are in the backgrounds of this video, congratulations, and thank you for wearing masks in public. Because, oh boy, you gotta hope people are. So that was nice. But yeah, it's kind of weird to see them just like walking around this place. And yeah, any time they meet anyone, those people are masked up. But the girls aren't, because they're the leads of this TV special. So they get sweets. They visit a Kappa shrine, and it's fun because in a previous episode, the girls went to the shrine, so it was included in the show because it's a real place. So they go and they visit the shrine to see these Kappas, and then they get shaved ice from this local place that uses local spring water in their shaved ice, and holy shit, it looks incredible. And I know it was really hot today, and maybe that was part of me wanting it, but holy shit, it looks so great. And then they lighted little fireworks, which are just sparklers. Like I said, 9 minutes. The live action portion is doing its job in that it makes Tajimi City look incredible and makes me want to go there. And I just had ice cream yesterday, but I was like, ooh, shaved ice with strawberries, fresh strawberries on some shaved ice. Ooh, and the strawberry syrup. Ooh, that sounds incredible. That was what one of the girls had. Another one had like a tea, like a mochi thing. All of it looked unbelievable, and I was like, I want that. But I don't have that. And yeah, let's make a mug 2, the live action. I think it's worth checking out at least one episode just to like see what a portion of like part of the process of like promoting anime and like doing all of that, like what that looks like, because that is not a thing. Like we don't have that here, right? Like you might get, what you'll get is like San Diego Comic-Con, there'll be a panel with like the voice actors of an anime or an animated thing, right? You'll have like the Steven Universe panel. You won't have the voice actors of Steven Universe coming together to hang out and like promote the show by making like weird short TV special things of them. Like that's just not a thing. So it's kind of interesting to be able to get like a window into that. Which is a very Japanese thing. But like, yeah, there'll be like bonus episodes. Like there's a whole like couple episode thing that came out before Laid Back Camp, where Nadesco's voice actress went camping and was like day camping, and it's just like, hey, here's this thing, and we're promoting the show that's coming out, and like, so let's see it. And they did another thing where they had the singer of the opening theme for the first season and the second season. They had like her do like a thing at like a camping, like an outdoors store, camping goods store, just to be like, hey, this is an anime about camping coming up, so check it out. So that stuff is like definitely always happening, but it's not always, we don't always see it. So it's kind of cool. As I said, I did get ice cream yesterday, and I'm not one for, I don't have really a sweet tooth. I'm not like all out for it, but I did get it. It was hot yesterday. I got a vanilla, a twisty, which is soft serve of vanilla and chocolate twisted together, because it's the Twisters is the name of the place. So I got a Twisty, and it tasted fucking great. Like I don't know what else to say. It tasted real good, and it was hot, and we were sitting outside, so I was happy to have ice cream. Yeah, it's never like, hey, this week could you get like Klondike bars, or like could you get like Ben and Jerry's? Like I'm never thinking about that. If it like back when I lived in New York, to put this conversation full circle to where we talked about earlier in the night, when I lived in New York and it was like a hot, brutal day where like I would get out of work and I would have like a 15-minute walk and then like a 10-minute subway ride. And in the 15-minute walk, I would go by a 7-Eleven. And so some days in like when it was really hot at night and I knew it was going to be hot when I got back to my apartment, I would get a slushie from 7-Eleven on the way to the subway. Because the subway train would be cool. Like that would be air conditioned. But the subway station would be hot and sweaty. So I would get like a slushie there and drink that on the way to the train station. And that was a good way to beat the heat. And also give me a sugar rush, which was helpful to get all the way home because I was tired because it was late at night. But that's like the most like you would find me having any kind of cold anything. Like it's just not my style. I'm just not, I'm not an ice cream. I mean, I'm also not like a cookie guy or like a chocolate person. Like, yeah, it's just not my thing. To each their own. If that's your style, that's your style. If that's your flavor, that's your flavor. It's just not my particular desire in really any way. All right, let's get these legs on here. We'll do some panel lining before we put them on. Trying to make this look good. Again, we've got some time left in the stream working on these feet here, trying to get these legs together. I will say that. Oh My Wings is now following. Thank you for the follow, Oh My Wings. Appreciate that. Welcome to the Bear Cave here, working on this Load Astray double rebake high grade, or Load Astray. I like saying Astray, but Astray also works. Just doing a little panel lining on this. Again, the plan is I'm going to be playing Hearthstone on Wednesday for my weekly gaming stream, so you can come hang out for that. Is it possible that I will have a indie game to play instead? It is possible. I have requested a review code to then play the game on stream on Wednesday, and that game comes on Tuesday. I don't know if they're going to do that, but also I should clarify. I'm not just like randomly being like, "Hey, let me get this." I got an email saying like, "Hey, if you'd like to request a code," and I believe I got this email because I tweeted about this game when a trailer came out like last year for it. I like retweeted the trailer to talk about the game because I thought it was a cool idea. And so then I think that's why I end up on this list, because I got this email saying like, hey, if you want to request a review, let me know. Explain, what your Twitch or YouTube or whatever is. And I was like, okay, I'll do that. Like I said, don't know if that's going to like actually translate into a review copy, but maybe it will. If it does, then I will play that game on Wednesday. And of course, I will let y'all know that if I received it and did not pay for it myself, I will let you know, because that is how I roll. In the same way that it has been a hot minute since I've said this, so I will say it on stream. Tonight, 2 of the shows I talked about are on Crunchyroll, which of course is My Hero Academia Season 5, and which is also on Funimation, but it's on Crunchyroll. And Let's Make a Mug 2 is on Crunchyroll. So when I talk about shows that are on Crunchyroll, you can take a grain of salt if you'd like, knowing that I do not pay for my Crunchyroll account. I have a premium account that was gifted to me and renewed. It is technically a Verve account, which lets me watch things on High Dive, but also watch Crunchyroll. So you can take that stuff with a grain of salt. Have I ever had a conversation about what I should and shouldn't or can and can't say? No. This is just the community team there, knowing that I'm going to be talking about these shows and wanting to make it a little easier for me to be able to do it, and which I appreciate. I also have a working relationship with them. I have worked a live event for Crunchyroll with the plans to eventually in the future work other live events for them. So yeah, that is what that is. That's the deal with that. But I do like saying that and making it clear. When I talk about Funimation shows, I pay for my Funimation account. So you can just believe me when I tell you my thoughts on that. But if you want to take my other thoughts with a grain of salt, you're more than welcome to. Again, I'm not telling a lie when I talk about those shows. I am giving you my honest assessment of what I'm watching. But, if you're like, you can be like that. Same thing with video games, right? If assume that I have purchased any game that I am talking about, but if there is the case where I haven't, I will certainly let you know. That has not come up, but it certainly could. There could certainly be a time at some point in my life where I am gifted codes. I wasn't streaming when I got Duck Game back in the day. There are a few other games that I've gotten here and there from various means or gifted. But yeah, if that comes up in a thing, if I got access to the next Jackbox or something, if that came out, that came to be, I would certainly tell you that when I played it. I wouldn't just be like, hey, we're playing Jackbox Party Pack 8, and then just, oh, hey, I love this. I wouldn't just do that. Seems like even when it's safe to gather at cons again, there's a lot of people still wear masks as another safety measure. Crashington, I certainly will. I will be outside of when I am on stage on a panel. I will be masked up at any con I go to. I also don't know if I'm going to be in any cons this year. One, because I don't know if they're going to happen anyway. But right now, I don't think I'm going to be at Anime NYC because none of the people I have worked for at that con are planning to go right now to panel or do anything or table. So it doesn't look like I have a way to get there. I'm not going to go. I don't want to say this. So I am not going to fundraise to go to PAX West if PAX West happens in Seattle. Because it could. I don't think it is, but it could. I don't have any plans to try to go to that on my own. Now, if somebody wanted me to go out there to work it, I would certainly. I wouldn't just be like, no. I will think about it. I don't know if I would do it, but I would at least probably consider that. That also goes for PAX Unplugged, which I think will happen. That's going to be this December. I think PAX Unplugged will happen in Philly. I don't know if I would go to that on my own, but I would certainly consider going to work a booth or anything like that. So I don't know. Like I said, it's all up in the air. There's a PAX thing in Philly. Yes, Maynard Nate. There is a thing called PAX Unplugged. It is the tabletop and role-playing game focused PAX. They've only had a couple years. They didn't do it this in 2020 because of so I believe they've only done it for 3 years now. But yes, in December, which is a weird time, don't get me wrong, there is a tabletop version of PAX. There's no bands that play. And it's it's really fun. There's a really strong role-playing community there. A lot of live-action role players. A lot of people buying games and demoing games on the show floor. There is a panel scene. It's not as vibrant as some of the other panel scenes at PAX, but there's still people that go out. There's a lot of industry panels, stuff like that. But yeah, it's fun. It's only, like I said, only a few years old. Oh, also, sub, hello to you. But yeah, I have the first two PAX Unplugs I went to for the whole weekend. We did the first year, I just kind of went and did a panel. Second year, we did we performed there, and I had a table. And then last year, 2019, which is the last one that happened, I just went down for the day. I went for the day. I did a panel. I hung out with friends. I saw people because at the time I was living in New York. So the I took the train from New York to Philly and then back again. I took like an early train in and then took like the last train out. And it was nice. I was one of those things where I was like, if I don't have like a booth or something like that, I would probably do that again. Now, since I'm in South Carolina right now, if I was going to go up to PAX Unplugged, if it happens and if I made the decision to go, I would certainly go for the weekend because I'm not going to round trip South Carolina to Philadelphia. That's not a thing that I would do. But also, like I said, it comes down to, it would require people wanting me to be there for me to make that trip. Be that people at Reed, to people that put on the convention, wanting like to make sure I could be there to be on panels and like sponsoring my trip, in order to like guarantee that I did some panels and was guest on others and all that, something like that. Or possibly like a company wanting me to work their booth or something like that, because I do know people that do stuff like that. So same thing for New York Comic Con or Anime NYC. Like I don't know. Yeah, I actually want to look this up. Did they announce New York Comic Con? Yes. Okay. So let's see here. New York Comic Con is your event. Okay. They got an online store. The metaverse. Currently open. Yeah, they're doing like a mini. That's right. They're doing a mini New York Comic Con, which is the virtual one. But I don't know if they've announced the. Yes, they are theoretically doing an October show at the Javits Center. So, I'm like, if somebody was like, hey, do you want me to come up and limited capacity New York Comic Con? Like, if people were like, hey, do you want me to come work your booth? I'd be like, I'd consider it, certainly. Honestly, I would be more interested in working a convention in New York because it would be a way for me to get to New York. And that would be good, because then I could go to New York and like, the idea that I could go and okay, so this is weird. I want to talk about this here. Part of this is putting a different leg on here, and I think that's because you swap the legs for like the back and front side. But this is just weird looking. It's just a leg that I'm putting on here. This is an extra foot, I should say, not leg. It's just an extra foot that we put on this kit. That's just weird. And then we got to do some of the other side here. So we'll get a bit of this other side done. We did one whole leg here with the extra foot. I think it's probably a dumb idea, but I got tickets to the AW show here at Austin. Lashbrook, I mean, like, you make the call, right? If that's a bad idea, if that's the thing you want to attend, you make those choices. I'm not here to say that. In the same way, like I said, I would love to get back up to New York. I would love to see some people. Yes, in July. Yeah, Lashbrook, July, that does feel right around the corner. That does feel a little weird, but like, you're also here. You're also in not here. You're also in Texas, and like that's probably not the worst decision being made right now in Texas is to have a AEW show there. Like there's probably way more foolish decisions that are going to happen. But, so yeah. Um, uh, I would like to see my friends in New York. I would like to work an event. I would love to go to my I would love to go to my storage unit and swap out some of my shirts because I didn't take all my shirts with me. I would love to go up there and like just trade out some stuff and have different shirts to wear. That would be pretty cool. Which is a silly thing for me to want, but I definitely would like it because I have been here longer than I would want to. Austin in July. I mean, we're just voted to allow open carry without a license or training. So, yeah, that's a terrible decision. That is a terrible idea. In general and in specifics, that's bad news. So, yikes, Lashbrook, yikes. Anyway, we finished the upper body of our kit, and we finished. We're got one big part of the leg here up to the knee, and we're doing the other one. So we made some good progress on this kit. It's looking pretty snazzy. Brass knuckles, chains, whatever. Yeah, you can just carry whatever. Whatevs. So yeah, so we got some work done on this kit. We will continue this on Thursday. But two things. One, we are going to raid. So I am going to go figure out who we're going to go give a raid to because we always want to send some love out to some people and share the love. So we are going to raid. So stick around for that. And then also Wednesday, 9 p.m. Eastern, the plan is right now, like I said, an indie game. A code from an indie game might appear. And if not, I'm going to play Hearthstone. And I've got a very fun deck to try out that I've been playing a little bit, and I want to show y'all. That is it is a priest deck, but it doesn't rely on playing cards that just kill your opponent's minions in WoW. You play big cards that maybe swing the board in your favor, and it's a pretty fun deck. All right, so what are we going to do here? What do we got going on here? Who's doing some stuff? Liz Star is playing Metal Gear Solid 3, and I think we're gonna go hang out with Liz Star. Liz is great. And yeah, Liz is playing some Metal Gear Solid 3, so that's fun. So we'll go give her some love with a raid. So feel free to come along in this raid. Liz is great. Her community rules. I think on Saturday did we go hang out? Yeah, with a good friend of Liz's as well. So now we'll continue the love by visiting Liz. So that's good. So thanks so much for being here. I hope you have a great rest of your Monday night. Come along on this raid. I will see you Wednesday for some Hearthstone or an indie game that as I said, that maybe a code is going to appear. I don't know. But Thursday, back to finishing. I don't know if we'll finish this kit on Thursday, but we'll get close to it. So I'll see you on the next stream, and everybody have a great night. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye.